What's up? What's up? Everyone that's logging on, I want you to comment. I'm going to go ahead and comment. Comment cookbook. All right. All right. So, right now, I'm actually cooking my breakfast. It's already like 1 o'clock. I haven't had time to eat anything today. So once I got on that call, I got caught up with a lot of stuff. So now I'm just trying to make up my meals. And these are the type of days I really dislike because I didn't have time to make breakfast. I was trying to do the juice and go live and all that stuff. But it's fine. We're going to make everything up. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish making my breakfast. It's the usual broken burger bowl. If y'all haven't seen that recipe yet, I'll go ahead and show some of it right now. So it's like we got like onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, and garlic on the iron skillet, stir frying. Okay, and then we're going to end it off with some spinach and some seitan. Now, um, if you want to make like a high protein breakfast, I usually like getting a lot of my protein first thing in the morning. Um, but you could use any type of alternative that you wish. I like seitan in particularly just because it's plant based and there's no cholesterol, no saturated fat, and it's extremely high in protein. I'm getting about in this small packet, I'm getting about 68 grams of protein. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I particularly like it myself. So let me see. Any tips for making sure I eat correctly on work days? Um, the only tips I really got for you is making sure you eat correctly on work days is you want to make sure you're tracking your nutrients. So by using like applications like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer, this is a great way to make sure you're getting all the nutrients that you need. And it's the best way to learn how to incorporate the best foods into your diet. So, um, this is something that I tell my students to do. I do it myself, and that's how they learn. The only way you're going to really learn about what foods work for you and how to get all the nutrients is doing your own due diligence. Like you just have to start tracking that stuff, and then that helps a lot because when you start tracking, then it blocks out a lot of noise that you hear online. Because I know for some people, it's very confusing when it comes to making sure what foods are healthy and what type of nutrients they're getting from the foods and stuff like that. And the best way to get all that noise out is really just, you know, start tracking the foods that you're eating. And then then when you start hearing things online, then you can actually do your own due diligence and see if it's true or not. Because there's people out there who's, they're just putting out information just for clicks and views. And there's people out there who's actually truly invested to help people to be healthy. So that's why a lot of things that I teach, a lot of things that I show, um, I back it up with proof, with actual proof. And I tell them, and I actually show so much stuff. I show my fitness pal. I show that I use it all the time. Um, Also, and I don't always talk about macronutrients. I always talk about micronutrients as well, because micronutrients are just as important as macronutrients, because that's where you're going to get a lot of your vitamin A, B vitamins, things like that, iron. And once you start really doing that, then it helps you out at the end of the day. All right. Let's see. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? but that's the best way. Yeah, Marcus, you have to for people on YouTube, you have to go to my website. Yeah, the people on Instagram, if they comment cookbook, then they're able to get the cookbook. But for people on YouTube, you actually have to go to the website to get it. Unfortunately, they don't have like automation bots to help like push the link to people DMs. You know what I mean? So we're finishing up though with this breakfast. So I added the seitan. I added the nutritional yeast that has tons of your B12s in there. And then just to make it creamy, I added some Yoko's creamery cream cheese. So I don't do it all the time, but out of all the cheeses that you could get in the grocery store, Miyoko's is definitely my favorite. I use it for bagels or for this dish or pizza. They have a pizza one, a piece of cheese. So I use the Miyoko's for a lot of my pizza recipes. And I'm going to come out with a new recipe, like an all vegan white pizza. I just made it last weekend to try it out, see how it tastes. Tastes really good. Not high in protein, but definitely a great snack. Or if you just want some like clean carbs, it's definitely a good go-to. All right. Now, once I'm finished with this dish, I'm going to start off with my next dish. And the next dish is going to be this. The next dish is going to be an actual meal prep. So I've already have some beans. I have these chickpeas soaking in water for over 24 hours. So I'm going to make this, and I'm going to actually pressure cook it. All right. Now, when it comes to beans aren't really that difficult to cook. Some people get a little intimidated cooking beans, or they think it takes a long time. But I use a pressure cooker to be able to cook my beans. That's what helps speed up the process. Only takes literally 8 minutes to cook them. So the longest part is just really soaking your beans, because you just have to throw it in a bowl and just wait. Yeah, that's really the thing that takes the longest. But everything else is pretty quick. It's not that bad. And you'll save so much money if you buy like beans by itself and then just soak them, and that's it. Like I used to be honest with you guys, I used to buy a lot of my beans from Philos, but lately I've just been making my own, because the problem with store-bought beans or pre-cooked like Philos is that they use a lot of sodium. You know what I'm saying? And I had to technically cut back on them, not because this is bad. It's really good beans. I love them. I still love them to this day. I think they're very convenient, especially if you're like a very busy individual. They're very convenient. So you don't even have to think about even cooking. You just throw them in the microwave, warm them up. But the reason I had to start making my own is just because when it comes down to, since I started cycling, like I'm taking a lot of I take Relight, which is it's like a hydration drink, and Relight has a lot of sodium in it. So I don't need to be eating a bunch of foods that's like very high in sodium, because it'll throw my sodium levels like to extreme levels, you know. So that's why I cut back on certain foods like that. And I just started making my own because I have more control with the sodium level. Because when it comes down to like beans, like Philos, when it comes to certain foods like that, the only way they could keep a long shelf life without putting any chemicals in it is by using a high sodium content, because sodium is a natural way to preserve foods. Okay, So that's why some of those foods are high in sodium. So we're done with the breakfast. All right. And this bowl that I just made that I'm going to eat has about over 100 grams of protein. Okay. So that's why it's one of my go-tos. It has tons of vitamins and minerals in there. It's really my multivitamin. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and start making the beans. All right. Technically, well, actually, what we should do, we should make the sweet potatoes actually. So that's what I want to do first. So that because the beans are very quick to make. So I got these red sweet potatoes right here, and we're going to go ahead and cook these because I've been adding sweet potatoes back into my diet since I've been cycling a lot. And one of the good things about potatoes, red potatoes, sweet potatoes, any type of potatoes, is that it's high in potassium and fiber. So when it comes to potassium, this is going to help you from, it's going to prevent you from cramping up. And also it's high in fiber and it's a great complex carbohydrate. So if you're someone who's cycling and you want a lot of complex carbs in your diet because that energy is going to store in your liver and then it goes into your muscle when you're actually training the next day. A lot of people that I notice focus too much on simple carbs when they're cycling or doing aerobic sports, but it's not something that's good long term. Okay. So you want because simple carbs leads to a lot of inflammation. Okay. So that's why I do more complex. And then I actually train fasted. And then what I do is if I need simple carbs, that's just to replenish my glycogen levels at the time I'm training. But that's it. Maybe it's a small snack or something like that, but nothing too crazy where all I'm eating is ice cream and donuts and all this stuff just because I cycle. I think a lot of cyclists and people who does high endurance sports, they get too caught up in that trap because when it comes to simple carbs, it has a time and an actual place when you want to consume them, especially if you want to, stay lean, have a healthy body fat percentage, things like that, and reduce inflammation. So the best time to have simple carbs is like when you're actually training, and let's say like after like 60 minutes to 2 hours of intense, and when I say intense, I mean intense cardio, then you want to hold on. Cleaning these sweet potatoes. Hold on. I don't know what it was. I think it was like an earthworm or something. It just looked nasty. I had to get that shit out. I don't need any extra protein in this shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, what I was saying is I feel like too many people are too focused on simple carbs when they do cycling. And it's one of the reasons why I personally seen a lot of even like I'm new to this world, but I've seen many cyclists that's like overweight. And one of the reasons is obviously like they're in a caloric surplus. They're not burning a lot of energy from the exercises they're doing. That's obviously one of them. One of the main reasons. But number two is also because they're consuming too much simple carbohydrates. And they don't need the simple carbs if they're riding, because it's not that intense. Technically, it might feel like it's intense, but they're not really that intense, So that's one of the things I've noticed. And obviously I'm a nutritionist and stuff like that. So for me, when it comes down to switching out, adding more carbs, I didn't just start like just eating more food immediately. I did something called reverse dieting, because I know, like, as a bodybuilder, yeah, I was burning a lot of calories already, but then coming into the cycling world, I need to see how much more my body is actually burning. Like, obviously you could use like an Apple Watch and stuff like that, but you have to remember these watches aren't as accurate. And the best way to really look like, we got some sweet potatoes and then we got a Japanese sweet potato. So this was mixed. So yeah, this is the Japanese sweet potato I have in my hand. So I just found that out. I guess they mixed it up in the potato section. But anyways, going back to my story, yeah, like too many people, I had to do a reverse diet so I could see how my body was reacting every time I raised up my carbs. Because like I even had some friends that was like, man, you're only eating like 1,700 calories and you're cycling. I'm like, yeah, but when it comes to reverse dieting, like, that's how you have to do it. You have to see how your body reacts. You have to load up your calories slowly. And then if you see your body fat still losing, that obviously that's like data telling you like, your metabolism is fast, and it's a good sign to slowly refeed and give yourself more calories, because I'm a data guy, and I do the same thing with my clients. This is how they're able to eat like 3,000, 4,000 calories and still be lean and healthy, because it's not a rush. Like, you have to do everything data driven. You can't just assume, like, off a watch, like, okay, I'm getting more foods. I mean, I'm doing more workouts, and the watch says I'm burning this much, so I'm going to eat just as much. I'm telling you, like, if you just the watch is good for FYI, like, for your own information, but it's not 100% accurate. And what's accurate is when you actually start, tracking your foods, knowing how much you're eating, you have more control and there's more accuracy there. And then seeing how your body actually utilizes the foods, especially if you're doing it. And you have to be consistent too. You have to be consistent with the foods you're eating as well. So you can know, like, okay, like, with the consistency or the average of foods I'm eating, this is how my body's reacting. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Someone asks, how long do you recommend to soak? Sometimes I feel like I don't soak enough. I would say minimum is 4 hours when it comes to beans, but to get the best, it's going to be 8 hours to 24 hours. I just do 24. I just I'll throw them in like mid-afternoon, nighttime, let them soak overnight. And then after that, I go ahead and cook them, So, but minimum 4 hours. That's like if you're in a rush. But the thing with beans, I would say, if you want to do it safe, I would definitely do it like at least 24 hours or something like that, just because, like, beans has lectins in it, right? And if you don't break them down, if you don't prep them right, that can cause a lot of bloating and gas in the gut. It causes a lot of inflammation. So that's why I recommend just doing 24 hours. Same thing with rice. Like, you want to, like, really rinse them out and really shake them. Don't be quick with rice, because with rice it's the same thing. It's like it has the lectins in it. So, like, if you don't rinse them very thoroughly and really, I wouldn't even let them soak just a tad bit, And I mean, rice is obviously a lot quicker to cook, but don't just go through them really quickly, Because I did that mistake. Literally, I made that mistake already just about, I want to say 2 weeks ago, because I was cooking the black rice, and I went and I cooked them very fast. And then what ended up happening is that I was getting a lot of gas, gas and bloating. And part of me was like, man, like, is it the potatoes? Is it the rice? But I realized it was the rice. I found out it was the rice because I was like, I usually never get bloated with potatoes. Never. Try soaking it, 8 hours. Yeah. So I would just do overnight, like have them at least 24 hours. I don't like really chopping it really that hard. it kind of puts wear and tear in the razor edge. Let's see. Yeah, let me know if you're getting the cookbook. All right. So everyone on Instagram, if you comment down below cookbook, you get a copy of my cookbook. So I have a lot of meal preps that's fast and easy to create, all high in protein, and majority of them have a lot of the meals in that has foods that's quick and easy, but also as well they're high in protein. So these are foods that I actually use when it comes down to my meal plans. All right. And the cool thing about the cookbook Macro Mastery is that it actually shows you how to create your own meal plan. Okay. So if you're trying to create your own meal plan, you can just purchase that book. It's about $14.97. It's very cheap, okay, $14.97. So it's really cheap. And I am working on another cookbook. I just need to make more recipes. So like that'll come out hopefully by the end of this year. That'll come out. If y'all want to see the chopping, see what I'm doing. All right. All right, so the sweet potatoes are good to go. So we're going to go ahead and get the pan ready. All right. So I have like two sets of these pans. And the reason is with the non-stick pans, I have one that I use oil with and one that I don't. Because when I use the one with oil, they get all black and tarnished. So that's why I do that. And then the one, and when they get all black and tarnished, like you have to like do like a deep scrub every single time if you want to like get the tarnish out, and that just takes a lot of time. We in the cooking world they call it seasoned. The pan is seasoned, right? So to avoid doing all of that, I just buy two sets. So one set I use with oil, so to keep it stays seasoned. I don't have to do like a crazy deep scrub, and then I have another one that I don't use oil with. And the reason is because the one that doesn't have oil on it, or I don't use oil, that keeps the integrity of the non-stick of the pan. So like that one I use like pizzas and stuff like that, like baked goods. All right, that's a little tip. So let's go ahead and spray it. Now, some people usually like to add like get a bowl and pour a bunch of olive oil in it and then kind of soak it around. I don't do that because like even though olive oil is healthy for you, it's still high in fat. So that's why I just use the spray and just spray on top. You don't really need a lot of olive oil, okay? Just a light coat, because what you're going to do is just spray, like you're going to put like salt and pepper on there, okay? So today we're going to use the black peppercorns, okay? I highly recommend getting peppercorn over like the black pepper powder, because with peppercorn, when you crack it, it actually releases a lot of its natural oil. So the black pepper is very fresh and rich, okay? So that's why when you go to restaurants and they have like something like this where they actually grind the peppercorn into your food, it's one of the reasons why it's like that. And you'll notice that your food, it tastes a lot better when you do it like this, okay? And then the salt we're going to use is the real salt by Redmond, okay? So this one, you kind of want to pour a little bit in your hand and then kind of sprinkle it down like that. I think it might have a little bit too much. I felt like a good bit fell on like literally on one potato. All right. So we're good with that. Now the oven is at 425 degrees. Okay. So it's already preheated. So we're going to go ahead and throw everything in there. And we're going to put the timer I'd say about 35 minutes. Okay. Takes about 35 to 40 minutes to create. Okay. Let's see. Says I use the same salt you have. A cool kitchen. Hey, thanks a lot. Yeah, and the salt is really good. A lot of people think Himalayan pink salt is really good, but it's actually not. It's not as good as people made it seem like back in the days. Because it lacks a lot of iodine. So if you're trying to get a little bit more iodine and you want something that's going to be more of like an electrolyte as well, the Redmond real salt is way better. Okay, so that's going to really help you out. All right, so let's see. Is there any other questions? All right, cool. Now let's go ahead and start focusing on the beans. Okay, so since that's cooking right now, we can go ahead and start making these beans. So let's go ahead and do that. So before we cook, it looks like I might have to, well, I could kind of go through this. So first thing you want to do is with your beans, you want to go ahead and pour them out, okay? So you want to drain them and then rinse them for a little bit. Usually do this about 2 or 3 times with the rinse. And then again, you want to drain them, okay? So, and now what we're going to do is with the pressure cooker, we're going to pour water in here, and then we want to get it to a boil. And you don't need that much water. You don't even have to fill it up to the top. Just literally about like, not even half, just about a quarter of the pan. Now here's the thing: when you're boil, we just want this to boil, okay? And what I did was lock the pan, right? But you don't want it to build up pressure. You don't want it to build up pressure and then try to open it up. The only focus right now is for it to heat up and boil, especially since I use like ice cold water. Okay, so it might take a little bit for it to warm up, but because here's the thing: if you have these little pins, if that pin raises, that means that there's too much pressure. You let the pot reach, because remember this is a what's it called? I just forgot the name. Like a pressure cooker, right? So the last thing, it's a pressure cooker. So the last thing you want is it to actually pressure cook. So you just want to keep it here and just kind of pay attention to it, all right? And make sure that pin doesn't raise up. If that pin raises up, there's too much pressure in the pot. And then you have to kind of like wait for it to cool and get the steam out and stuff like that. So because if you try opening it with a lot of pressure in it, it could blow up in your face and you could get injured, seriously injured. So you want to be very careful with these pressure cookers, okay? Now, when it comes to the beans, we're going to use, we're going to use a few ingredients. We're going to use some garlic, okay? I'm going to cut up some onions as well and throw it in there. And then we're going to throw some salt. And if I have some oregano, we could probably throw some oregano in there as well, okay? And the good thing about pressure cookers is that when you cook with these things and you add in like other things to help with the flavor, it actually pushes the flavor into the food. Now, I've said this before, when you're using a pressure cooker as well, since you are cooking at high heat, what you want to do is what you want to do is you could have the food literally once you finish cooking it, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to take your beans is going to taste better literally the next day. All right, because when you're cooking with hot heat, it just like you don't taste all the flavors in the beginning, but when you kind of let it sit for at least a day overnight, it tastes a lot better. I always say it's almost like cold pizza, right? Cold pizza, sometimes for some people, I'm not like a big cold pizza fan. It's like I think it's better than when it's hot. You know, it's just because you could taste everything when it's cold. It's just something about it. It just tastes better. And certain foods are like that, especially high temperatured foods. When you cook with high temperature, it tastes like that. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? So we're just chopping up some garlic. And I'll go ahead. Let me see if y'all can see that. I like using a lot of garlic, all right, because that's what's really going to flavor up the foods. And then let's go ahead and chop up our onion. Like that. It's warming up. So I'm just going to keep it unlocked for now. And we're not going to use the whole onion. We're just going to use a little bit, pretty much just a cup. Okay, so what I usually do is I'll chop the whole onion and then I'll store it in a container because I use onion. I use a lot of onion when I cook. I use it for almost every dish. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my dishes I use onion. Like my go-to is onion, green peppers, bell peppers. Oh, well, that is green peppers or bell peppers. Onions, bell peppers, garlic, and spinach I use a lot in a lot of my dishes. And it's good to like store them immediately. At least let them sit for a few minutes, and that prevent you from like getting all teared up when you're chopping. Little hack. All right. Let's see if this is ready to go. Almost. So we're almost at a full boil with the pot. So this time we're going to use some olive oil. So this time we're going to use this type of olive oil. We're going to pour a little bit in there so the beans don't stick when you're boiling. So I would say maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons is perfectly fine. Okay. And then we're going to add in the garlic and everything else. Okay. So let me go ahead and all right, let's go ahead and start it. So, oh, no, it's not boiling yet. So let's hold that. It's almost ready. Let me see. I know some people are writing. Oh, you started a vegetarian diet? That's amazing, man. Oh, and you talked to me about it? Oh, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad that you started the vegetarian diet, man. Hope it's going well with you. And remember, anyone that's logging on, if you want to get my cookbook that's high in protein, it's going to show you how to meal prep. Go ahead and just comment cookbook, and I'll go ahead and send you the link immediately so you can go ahead and get that book. Okay, it's only $14.97. All right, very cheap. All right, we're at full boil. So we're going to go ahead and add some olive oil. Like I said, about 1 to 2 tablespoons should be fine. Okay. Then we're going to add some salt. I would say maybe even maybe a half a tablespoon of salt. You don't really need that much. And then let's add in the black pepper as well. Our garlic. About a cup of onions. All right. This is all just going to add more flavor to it. And then we're going to add our beans, our chickpeas. All right. Stir it up just a little bit. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is I don't turn on the timer for this. Like I said, it's 8 minutes, but I don't turn on the timer until the pressure builds up. Okay. Even though it's boiling, it's not pressurized yet. So once it pressurized, then we're going to go ahead and hit the timer. Okay. So let's just wait for that to happen. And when you're using a pressure cooker, make sure it's locked. Okay. And then here's the thing: once you lock it, and that shit, it starts to pressurize. That's it. So whatever ingredients you forgot to put in there, too bad. You're just SOL. All right. So it's that's why you have to add all your ingredients in first, and then while it's boiling, and you don't want to take too long while it's boiling, because when it's boiling, the water, all that water is evaporating. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be too slow with it. You want to already know what you're going to put in there. And I just forgot something. I don't know if it's too late. Is it too late? No, I actually did forget something. So, all right, it didn't pressurize. All right, good. I actually did forget something, which is the most important thing. It's the bay leaves. We actually need some bay leaves in here. So, let's add that in there. About 2 or 3 leaves are good. All right, now let's go ahead and lock it down. All right. All right, there you go. All right, so now it's going to pressurize, and then we're going to go ahead and do this. You ever a police officer? No, I'm not a cop, man. I don't know why people keep asking me that shit. I was in the military. I was in the military for about 8 years, but not a cop. So let's go ahead and while I'm cleaning this up, I'm just going to clean up my kitchen area. While I'm doing that, if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll answer it. So you are then? Nah, like I said, I'm not. Was in the military. Military and police, law enforcement is two different things. All right, so let's see. Actually, all right. So, like I said, once it starts to pressurize, that's when I go ahead and put on the timer. Well, we can't even put on the timer. Let me see, because the timer's already on for the oven. So let me see how you do this. So, all right, you can't do that. So we're just going to use the phone. I was trying to see if I could just put on the timer with the phone. Siri, can you put an 8-minute timer on? All right. So 8 minutes for the phone. You know what I mean? And we're just going to go ahead and clean everything up. And then here's a quick hack. Like when it comes to, if you have a food disposer, you could put all your shavings in here. You know what I'm saying? Some people use the shavings for chips and stuff. I personally don't, because you have to really scrub and clean the skin. All right. So that's why I don't do that. Okay. All right. Just a little hack. All right. Helps if you're trying to cook fast, quick. You think be very convenient with things. Don't do too much. You don't have to do a lot of things to overwork yourself. Okay. But let's go ahead and continue. Thinking of coming to Miami on holiday from the UK, what would be the top vegan place to eat at? A good place is going to be in Wynwood. In Wynwood, they have something called Love Life Cafe. So Love Life Cafe is definitely going to be a top spot to eat at in Miami. Also, another place you could eat at if you want like a dessert It's called Miami Bee Gelato. So Miami Bee Gelato has a lot of it's all vegan gelato. So if you really enjoy gelato, I highly recommend going there as well. It's super good, very delicious, and everything's amazing. It's actually because of that place. I don't even. Hopefully, y'all can hear me with all this steam, but hopefully, what I was gonna say, yeah. When I ate there, when at the V Gelato place, it's really good because I actually quit eating ice cream because of that place. First, gelato is a lot healthier for you, but when you have their gelato, I'm telling you, like nothing compares to it. Like it's so good, it's ridiculous. So yeah, when you thinking you're coming down, and the cool thing about Miami too, there's a lot of places that actually have like vegan options. That's really good too, like Bolay and Sweet Green. These are vegan friendly places, so they have it's very healthy food. It's one of my go to places. I actually eat there as well. Like I go to a lot of vegan friendly restaurants, especially with friends, family, and even by myself. And not everyone eats my lifestyle. Not everyone's vegan. You know what I mean? So, but I actually go to these places more frequently than the actual vegan restaurants, only because the price is a lot cheaper. To be very honest with you, and they have healthier food because sometimes I don't want like what I was saying is like sometimes I don't want like super like food that's expensive or foods that's like a specialty dish. Like sometimes I just want like a basic bootable, like sweet potatoes, like things I meal prep from home, but just different. Like I just want salad, just some basic, and something that's not too expensive. And in Miami, we have a lot of these franchises like Bolay and Sweet Green that sells bootables. You pretty much build them, and they have like tofu and all this shit, like salads and everything. And they're cheap. It's cheap, convenient. They're like Chipotle, but healthier, a lot healthier. It's literally my go-to. Love the content from Norway. Hey, thanks a lot. I truly appreciate it. If you're in this kitchen right now, you can smell the aroma from the pressure cooker. It's I know these beans are going to be fire. And sorry that like people leaving the camera and stuff, but like it's alive for a reason. It's alive for a reason because when I cook, this is how I really cook. Like I be cleaning, I be doing all that stuff while cooking because the last thing I want to be doing is cleaning up after a live, like so I do everything all at once. It's how I really do things. But we're just gonna wait here. If y'all have any questions, let me know. And the sweet potatoes, we only got 10 minutes left. And for the pressure cooker, about 30 seconds left. That made the vegan cop video. Yeah, we're still going to do them. We just kind of cut back on some of the content because we're changing directions with what we're doing and what we're showing online. We're changing some directions with the content, but we'll get back to the vegan police video. I know a lot of people love it and stuff like that, but as I mentioned before, we're trying to reach. Well, I'm trying to reach. I say we because I have like a production team. Like someone who runs my social media account and also who films me and stuff. But what I wanted to do is try to reach a bigger audience and not be so polarized or so hardcore with the vegan message. And, I'm still vegan. I'm still going to be plant-based and do my thing. But I feel that the only way I'm going to be able to reach out to more people is like calming that down and not blatantly letting everyone know that I'm vegan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's more about education and showing people like what type of foods they could eat to be healthy. And if they want to go vegan, great. If they want to go more plant-based or just limit their protein options when it comes to animal-based foods, that's fine. But we're moving more into that direction, like more of a holistic approach. If that makes sense. So the beans are good to go. So what we're going to do is go ahead and turn that off. All right. And we have to sit here and wait for it to kind of cool a little bit. Just be very careful when you're depressurizing it. And if you see, you really can't see it that well, but see that little red dot? You want to wait for that to fall down, okay? Once that red button drops, that means the pan is safe to open. So you have to do this to depressurize it. Do I live somewhere else too? No, I only live in Miami. I only live in Miami. Yeah, that's where I live at. I travel. But I don't live in multiple places. I travel a lot. See how long you have to do this to depressurize, because that's how much pressure it is. That's why it takes that's why it's quick to cook. That's why I said only 8 minutes. Especially if you soak it for like overnight, 8 minutes is more than enough. And to be honest with you guys, I used to be very intimidated working with with a pressure cooker. But once you start cooking more with it, you understand it more, then you you don't get intimidated anymore. You see it as a good, really good tool. All right, so you literally have to wait. So see now, not bad. So you actually have to see that button just drop. So you literally have to do that. Okay. Where can I find one of those pressure cookers versus the electric style? That's a good question. This pressure cooker that I have is super duper old. It's very old. But I would assume on Amazon, just go on Amazon because I have an electric one. But to be honest with you, I never even messed with it. Like this one is a pressure cooker too, the Ninja. This is an air fryer and a pressure cooker. But I never really messed with it. You know what I'm saying? Like because it, like you have to take out the thing and then take out the lid and then adjust it. But I just never really used it. You know, I'm just like it's easier with the old school pan. I'm like, all right, I don't have to switch nothing out. You know. All right. So I think I put a little bit too much water in here. So we're going to go ahead and drain a little bit out. I wonder if we could just keep pressurizing it. I think I put a little bit too much water. Damn. All right. Let's see if we can pour a little bit out. And then what I usually do is this. I'll take some chickpeas out and then we're going to mush it and throw it back in there. All right. So it's like this. Let me just do it in here. Now you might be asking me why am I smashing the peas? Well, when you smash them and then you add it back into the beans, it's going to give it more of a thick, like it's going to be a little bit thicker and like more saucy, if that makes sense. Let's mix it back up. And then I'm going to show you what I mean. All right, so this is what I mean. See? So as you can see now it's like it's creamy. See what I'm saying? So that's what I usually do with the peas, any type of beans. I usually do that. Now this is ready. So when it comes to the sweet potatoes, okay, first thing you want to do when you're opening up your oven is step away from it. Don't open up your oven like from the front. Open it from the side. Because what happens, see, that shit hits you, it could burn you. Okay. So you want to step away from it. And then after that, I'm going to take a fork and then look for the biggest piece. And then if it goes in softly, then it's ready to go. All right. So it went in with no effort. So we're going to go ahead and turn everything off, remove the sweet potatoes. All right, so when it comes to meal prepping, as you notice, I'm not going to eat all of this all at once. So, and I might have it a little bit later in the evening. So you want to get these big giant meal prep containers. They're huge, right? And they're great for storing because when I meal prep in big batches. So if I want rice, I make a big batch of rice. Sweet potatoes, big batch of sweet potatoes. Only things I don't really meal prep is like certain foods that I could easily cook. My breakfast, that's easy to cook. But I make sure I have certain ingredients that's already pre-made, or pre-chopped or already pre-made. So the only thing I need to do is just weigh out my foods, build my plate, and that's it. Now, if you're someone who works, then you could do the same thing, or you could go ahead and weigh out and prep your meals individually. It doesn't matter. You could do it just like this, right? So you could do something like this, right? This is what my girlfriend does. So she goes ahead and get her meals already pre-ready. It's ready to go. And she's very busy. So she doesn't like when it comes to her meals. Sometimes she'll do this, but lately she's been ordering her meals. So that's something that I do with my students as well. Is like if people don't just have no time at all, then I always tell them they can order their meal preps. And the service that I recommend my students to use is called Built Meals. So Built Meals, they actually is macro friendly, and they actually make the meals and they weigh it out and they make it fit your macros how you want it. So you go online, you put in your calories, your macros, and then you can build your meals. So they tell you the macros here on the label. And then what I do is, and I do this with my students as well, is that if they do a meal prep delivery service because they just don't even want to spend time in the kitchen at all, then we'll send them to this service. We'll go ahead. What we'll do as coaches, because I did this for my girlfriend, I go in, and then we'll go ahead and set up the meals for you so it can fit your calories and macros. And then whatever that doesn't fit, that's what we'll tell you to do. We'll tell you what meals or what to do to make up the remaining calories. The remaining calories are usually just a protein shake, maybe with some fruit or something like that, like something small, like a snack, like fruits, maybe some nuts, maybe a small smoothie, but that's it. Maybe even just a protein shake. But maybe one meal, and then the other 2 meals is meal prep delivered, and they deliver every Sunday. They could send the meals to your job or to your home. Okay, so that is something that we usually do when it comes to that. And again, if you don't know, I own a business called Body HD Fitness. So we work with people. We do customized meal plans, workout plans. We have accountability support. plus private Facebook group and classes. So everything that you're seeing right now is only like a fraction of what we actually do in the program. In the program, we'll make meals and recipes that's customized for you. Okay. And then, so we'll show you how to meal prep that's going to fit your lifestyle, and then how to measure out the foods for your goals and what you're trying to do. Okay. Everything I'm doing right now is for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just sharing that with y'all so y'all can see like what I do. But when it comes to the different meals of how I actually do it for students, like we're going to have recipe videos and everything, like just as you saw the slide, but the recipe videos are a lot shorter. It's not like me answering questions and all this stuff. They're a lot shorter, straight to the point. But that if I said like I want you to have a tofu scramble, we'll have the meals and the recipes, all the ingredients all pre-measured out for you, and then we'll have a video connected to that so you can watch that if you don't know how to cook the foods. Okay, so but let me go ahead and finish this up because I want to eat my breakfast before it gets too cold. Said vegan men are so yummy, like your intelligence is radiating off you. Thanks. Can you give me a shout out? Hey, Yartha057, what's up? Hopefully I said your name right. Love your videos. Thank you. From France. Hey, what's up? You inspire me. Hey, no doubt. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, yeah, it smells really good in here. Absolutely. Bro, are you actually in support of lab-grown meat? I just saw a reel about you, so I asked. Yeah, I'm into lab-grown meat for sure. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So yeah, I'm into grass-grown meat, lab-grown meat, and that's only because I look at it as just another alternative of food that people can eat, and some of the research behind it, like they can make the foods better than real meat. You know what I'm saying? Like they could add more vitamins, more minerals to it. They could add fiber in it if they wanted to. There's a whole bunch of cool things that they can do. So yeah, I'm into it. You know. All right. So you can see I'm holding it by my hand. These pans are aluminum, so they do cool down very fast. Okay. So it's not a magic trick or anything, just in case anyone's wondering. Any type of aluminum pan like this is very thin too. They cool extremely fast. They don't cool once you take it out of the oven, but within like a minute or two, it does get cool down. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to try to fit all of this in here as best as possible. I really don't want to pull out another container. All right, we're going to kind of smush it down a little bit, but it's good to go. All right, and it doesn't really matter either, too, if it's a little smushed, because I weigh it down. You know what I mean? All right, so this is ready to go. All right, this could last me for a whole entire week, and then we're going to do the same thing with the beans, okay? All right. Now the sweet potatoes, I don't have to taste just because I know they're good. Like I always try out the beans a little bit, Just make sure, because we did have to pour out some water so that can like dilute some of the flavor. So let's try it. It's good. I think it's just missing a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit more salt. But I can always add that when I'm warming this up. But it's really good. You can taste the garlic, the onions, the bay leaf. So it's good enough. So there you go. And all of this will last me for a whole entire week. All right. But hopefully this live was very helpful when it comes to meal prepping and cooking foods, and hopefully you see that, like, you know, making beans and sweet potatoes doesn't really take that long. It doesn't take a long time to make in the kitchen. It's something that it could be very enjoyable if when you're actually doing it. It's something that you could do with your kids if you have family, you know, because some people try to make meal prepping like a task. And if you have kids and stuff, it's a great learning tool to show them how to cook. And you'll realize how easy it is and how fun it is. Like you get your kids involved and like have your kids like peel potatoes, you know, like it'd be fun for them, you know. And like, cause I remember I used to do it when I was a kid, you know. I would sit there and help my mom peel potatoes, and she would show me how to do it and make sure I don't cut myself, obviously. But she would show me how to use a potato peeler, and I would sit there, you know, and I was literally sit there and just peel one or two while my mom was going through like all of them, you know. And as you see, these potatoes are huge. So like that was all of that came from 3 potatoes. You know what I mean? But with that said, I'll go ahead and let y'all go. I'm going to go ahead and have my breakfast for the day. It's already like 2. So I really have to catch up with a lot of my calories, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a good day. Peace.